buddies.
It's like a holiday. Holiday!
Give me that football.
Celebrate! Oh yeah, let's celebrate. Celebrate Tommy Cutlets. I'm Covino from Jersey, East Coast. Rich Davis, also from the East Coast, but big 49ers fan.
Let's go.
Let's go NFL, let's go football, let's go Covino and Rich on Overpromised, our bonus podcast. Normally we're on Monday through Friday, Fox Sports Radio 2 to 4 on the west side. That's 5 to 7 on the east. Follow Covino and Rich for the podcast, but this is our bonus show, so let's go. We're going to talk about Garbage Pail Kids. Ooh. They're back. We're going to reminisce a little bit.
By the way, is that the, I know he just made the team.
Yeah.
But is that the Tommy DeVito starter kit? A Giants t-shirt and a chain?
And sweet hair, yeah.
And it comes with hair product, too,
You got to
right?
have the sweet pompadour, yeah.
And you don't see it. He has a chicken parm under the desk over there.
Yeah, I'm saving it for later.
Well, hey, listen, earlier today on the Fox Sports Radio show, we talked about the storylines this season that you don't give a shit about and the ones you're really excited about. But something else we did not get to today is all the players that change teams. I know it happens every season, but this year more than ever, and I feel like if your head was up your ass just a little bit, you may have missed some of these.
And my head is so far up my ass sometimes, it comes out the top again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so actually my head is up my ass and out right now, in fact.
What made me think
up
of this? What made me think of this was someone made a reference to the handsome Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
And for 1 second, I was like, where the fuck is Jimmy G? Obviously not the Niners, not the Raiders. Oh, yeah, the Rams.
Yeah.
But he's suspended. So it got us thinking, like, what players made the jump to a new franchise? And, hey, listen, for the casual fan or for the guy, like I said, that ignored the preseason, here's a little reminder. And we'll start with the guy that's playing tonight. Derrick Henry, no duh, but pretty crazy to think that Lamar Jackson has a weapon like that behind him now.
It's just cool to see, right? You're going to have to adjust your mind and your eyes a little bit. You're like, oh, yeah, that's right. I mean, you knew it, but we're seeing it for the first time on the main stage. Like, wow, here he is.
Yeah, well, I mean,
he's now a Raven.
Which is why I'm not gambling or wagering at all on tonight's game, because how can you even tell what the Ravens offense looks like with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry behind him now? So how can you possibly think you know how the Chiefs defense will read those guys?
Dude, it might be the Ravens' year.
So Raven.
It's so Raven. But yeah, it's going to be cool to see. Enjoy that tonight. And of course, Saquon Barkley.
Yeah. Keep going down the list. Saquon, some are saying that he could have a McCaffrey-esque year with his skills and that offensive line in Philadelphia. They're saying you're going to say, oh, he was good with the Giants, but this is the Saquon that we could have got if he had a good team around.
Look how great he is. Yeah, with the Eagles now. From the Giants to the Eagles, Saquon Barkley could be a big difference maker out there. I know our boys on the Fusco show really pumped about it.
Tony.
Good one, Tony.
I think he's happy because he's just down the turnpike a little bit, so he could still get Taylor ham, right? But they just call pork roll down there.
Yeah, you can still get that.
There's other ones. You want to throw Josh Jacobs on this list? Because Josh Jacobs...
Yo, man, this is like a sore subject.
Yeah, our producer, Danny G, set to lose him in Vegas with the Raiders, but you got to think to yourself, if used the right way, does he still have gas in the tank? Because if you put a guy like Josh Jacobs with Jordan Love and that Packers team that ended the season hotter than anyone...
And please, let's not undermine and underestimate being in a different place and the impact and difference it could make. You know, we've had other jobs where it just wasn't fitting right.
Yeah.
You go to Fox Sports, you go somewhere else, you're like, wow, man, this is a better fit. I'm shining brighter. I'm doing better. You know, you're working with better people.
Sounds crazy. There
Different
was
team around.
There was a place we worked where they said, Covino, you may want to cut back on the necklaces and earrings.
And now I lean into them. Like, what? Come on.
Do they not know this guy?
Come on.
Spot, you want to just keep scrolling down because we could go rapid fire through some of these. Austin Eckler with the Commanders, who we have high hopes for. Obviously, Russ with the Steelers won that job. Mixon with the Texans. Aaron Jones filling a void in Minnesota.
You call him Dr. Jones.
What's crazy is that you wonder how he'll play against his division rival, and everyone's sort of down on the Vikings. And when we talked the other day about teams that might surprise you a little, I said Commanders. Put the Vikings on that list. Sam Darnold, Justin Jefferson, and Aaron Jones. Let's not, think this guy's a slouch.
Dude, I have it written down right here in my notes.
What do you got?
Sam Darnold to the Vikings is probably one I'm most excited to see. Because Like I said, you could get a better version of this guy, playing in Minnesota now, and that could be exciting. It could be the reemergence, sort of Geno Smith style. Like, hey, look at Geno, how good he was on Seattle. You could be saying the same thing about Darnold come this season, and it's going to be exciting to see.
Well, I don't want to bore you, but do you mind if I just go rapid fire through some key positions in the NFL, and if you want to throw any thoughts in?
Sure.
Quarterback, Kirk Cousins, Atlanta. We know that one. Gardner Minshew, Raiders. Russ, Steelers, like we said. Mitch Trubisky, he signed his deal with Buffalo, but he stays put. Jacoby Brissett won that starting job in New England. Tyrod Taylor, who I know you always have a soft spot for, he's backing up Aaron Rodgers.
He's a Jet, man.
He's a Jet.
And when you're a Jet all the way.
And
from your first cigarette to your last dying day.
Some people forget, maybe if you were, like I said, sleeping or under a rock, Marcus Mariota, he's backing up in Washington. He'll be backing up Jaden Daniels for the Commanders. Jameis Winston, looks like he's a positive vibe in Cleveland, so he's backing up there. Flacco re-signed with Indy. Drew Lock is a backup for the Giants.
For Daniel Jones,
and as far as running backs go, just a couple. Tony Pollard, Tennessee. DeAndre Swift, Chicago. So there's just so much movement every offseason that unless you're so locked in, which I like to think I am, but even I miss one or two here or there.
Dude, if you forgot your boy Garoppolo, even if it was just for a second, you had to remind yourself, right? This is just a refresher. Can't expect everybody to remember all of these. But the ones that stuck out to me, you mentioned Tyrod Taylor. For all we know, he's getting a lot of playing time. We don't know how the Aaron Rodgers thing is going to pan out, right? So I'm actually curious to see how that works. Rooting for Rodgers, obviously. I don't want to see any injuries or anything go wrong, but I'm saying this could be a big position for him. Cousins on the Falcons. I don't think enough people are talking about that. Again, could be a major difference maker. Exciting to see how that pans out.
There's one wide receiver, we saw a lot of wide receivers get paid. Cash money. But there's one wide receiver, not an elite guy, but I am intrigued to see Gabe Davis, who we're very used to seeing in that Buffalo Bills uniform. He's in Jacksonville, and I've seen a lot of people talking about how everyone's so high on the Houston Texans. Everyone's stroking C.J. Stroud, and DeMeco Ryans like, yo, they're going to do it again. Trevor Lawrence signed that big-ass contract. I don't think it comes with big asses, but he's got some weapons.
Hold on. Could I sign this contract with Fox Sports?
He's got a good coach in Doug Peterson, so don't sleep on the Jags. That's why we always talk about how the NFL is just so fun because everything's so damn unpredictable.
And I think we did a good job of avoiding the obvious here because all these moves and all the importance, all the factors, all the possibilities, the biggest story is still going to be Russell Wilson and what happens. That's going to be the biggest by far, how that pans out. And, is he going to continue starting for how long? We gave it, 6 to 8 games?
Oh, yeah.
Just to see, 6 to 8 games, because no drastic moves will be made right away. No, that's not happening.
Oh, can I give you one more wide receiver? I'm not saying we forgot, but maybe there is someone. Jerry Jeudy, who we're used to seeing a couple of years deep now in Denver, will be catching passes from Deshaun Watson in Cleveland. So he has a weapon. And when these guys are
fun times in Cleveland again.
When you see a player that's mid-20s or younger, and they've only been in the league a couple of years, Jerry Jeudy's 25. Who's to say this guy can't break it out in Cleveland with Deshaun Watson? You don't know. I don't know. You don't know. That's what's fun about the NFL. As we say all the time, parity. And every year, there's 6 to 7 new teams in the playoffs, which means half the league turns over. Parity!
Because of all the changes.
So,
and it all starts tonight. Ravens at Chiefs. We'll be eating wild wings, having fun, drinking beers, getting fat. And, of course, you have a fun game tomorrow and life changes for the next 6+ months. Check out Covino and Rich for the nonsense. This guy gets super pumped for football.
I'm telling you, I so badly, just for the fun of it, want to bet on something tonight.
Yeah.
But how could you? I'm being serious. I know.
I bet. What's the over/under on bonus
47.
wings?
No, 47 also.
Bonus wings. It's got to be over 10 or under 10.
Well, hold on. Here's a great bet to make. Combined wings, you and I, or the point spread or the over/under of the game. 47.
47 if you count Danny G.
But you, Danny G.
47's a lot.
Oh.
Saucy nugs are being had tonight.
But let me ask you this, though, because I do love to wager.
Yeah.
And in sports radio and TV, you're not forced, but you're supposed to have some firm opinion, even if you don't know shit, I'll be honest with you.
Firm opinion on what? Nobody knows Jack Diddley squat. That's the funny part about
Everyone's
it.
Faking
it's all
the funk.
A guess.
When you haven't
an educated guess.
When you haven't seen these teams with new weapons, Chiefs have a rookie wide receiver that's going to be an impact player. The Ravens got Derrick Henry. So to say that you know how this game is going to play out, you're full of donkey shit.
You don't know.
Which is smellier than horse shit.
Yeah, you don't know. We'll see.
And I'll tell you this. I'll give you this bit. When you watch the game tonight, as much as you want to wager on this game because it's fun to be in on the action, DraftKings, we got our deal with them, Code CR show. I can't see how anyone could confidently be like, yeah, Chiefs -3 or Ravens +3. I'm not feeling it either way. But the only thing I can think of is if you want to do like a teaser bet and you're like, oh, maybe I'll get the Chiefs with, or the Ravens with close to double digits and over 42.
I'll never count out the Chiefs or Mahomes and what he's capable of. But as our good pal Colin Cowherd said, stars attract other stars. There's a lot of noise going on with your team.
Yeah.
And in Kansas City. Still Taylor Swift talking about plays and everything else. Stop with that. Focus on football. Mahomes struggled a little bit last year. I mean, he came out on top. He's still the man, but it wasn't like an MVP season. It wasn't like he was dominant like we're used to seeing.
Question.
So anything could be a possibility.
Question. In the opening montage, when Carrie Underwood is singing her song. I know it's not Sunday night, but she's part of the NBC.
Too much noise.
When she's doing Waiting All Day for Thursday Night, and she's doing her NBC song, is Taylor Swift in the montage within the first 10 seconds?
Yeah, I think so.
It's when they do the B-roll.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, we'll see.
So the excitement begins tonight. Enjoy it. And every week, Rich will have some good bets for you here on Overpromise. So enjoy the game. Ravens, Chiefs. And that brings us to our Throwback Thursday discussion. I thought this was kind of cool. We're also big baseball fans here on the Covino and Rich show.
I almost gave up on my Mets, but half a game out, how could I be such a dick?
I'm going to give up on my Yankees, man. Clay Holmes sucks.
You need to take that guy out for like a pumpkin spice beer and have a conversation like, yo, Clay, you good, man? What's
he
doing?
Is not my Holmes. Anyway,
11 blown saves.
I know. But I still love the Yankees. We love baseball. We loved collecting cards growing up. A lot of kids did. You might still have your collection. I definitely do. And I saw MLB put out a post. I thought this was pretty cool. Topps is releasing Garbage Pail Kids, but MLB cards, MLB editions. And the headline is, and they go hard.
That's pretty cool.
There's some details about it. I'll read it to you. It says, keep an eye out for these ultra rare cards. The case hits in hobby boxes of 2024 Bowman Chromes dropping next Wednesday. So next Wednesday, these come out, and it sort of takes you back. For me, grade school Steve. I'm in like 3rd to 5th grade. I'm in grade school for sure. And kids are like, yeah, I got these Garbage Pail Kids. They were stickers, right? They had them sticking them on their lunchbox and stick them on their Trapper Keepers. You forget they were stickers because you collected the card. And on the back of the card, it created one big puzzle.
Holy shit, you just unlocked a memory. I forgot that it created
a puzzle.
Yeah. And I mean, Atom Bomb's the most famous one, but because that was what on the cover? Was
or
that
is it? Yeah, Atom Bomb. And each card had like a B card, like Atom Bomb, very famous, but Atom Bomb was like
also like Eddie Explosion.
Blasted Billy. It was Blasted Billy.
Blasted Billy.
So each one had like a B version that you had to collect them all. And I remember seeing these things when I was a little kid. I'm like, what are those? Because you knew your sister's Cabbage Patch Kid. You knew Xavier Roberts. You knew what that ugly little doll smelled like. But you're like, I think I like these better. Because you were into the whole card collecting thing anyway. So Atom Bomb, Rich is right, is one of the most famous ones. But I got some stats for you, Rich.
Can I tell you why I didn't love my Garbage Pail Kid?
You remember like the Richie one?
I do.
What is it?
And because they were cool. They were cool ones. There was one that looked like Richard Simmons and it was Rapid Rich. And I'm like, okay, Richard Simmons, Rapid Rich. But the other one, I know I'm putting you on the spot, but there was Rapid Rich, but it was always Richie Retch or Wretched Richard. It was always someone throwing up.
I remember Richard Rich.
Yeah,
I remember that.
So
because I had the same thing. It was Heavin' Steven. He was barfing all over the place.
Look at you and I throwing him.
Heavin' Steven, Stitch Steve. There was like a recent one based on Stranger Things, like Stylin' Steve.
There I am, dude.
Yeah.
Rapid Rich.
That is Rich. That's perfect for you.
Straight to the oldies.
Stylin' Steve is my favorite. It's a newer like Stranger Things one. But got me thinking about some of the ones that we remember, Garbage Pail Kids, and other really highly touted collectible baseball cards growing up, all right? So we're going to get to that.
Richie Rich.
I remember that one. What else do you remember? Because here's what comes to mind for me. Bad Breath Seth. I remember that.
Yeah.
Bad Breath Seth.
Sometimes a kid would get a bad nickname because of Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah, Off the Wall Paul and Zach Plack and all these. I remember all these.
Zach Plack. Oh,
but
shit.
you mentioned that Adam Bomb was probably the most famous. The most valuable one was Nasty Nick. Nasty Nick sells for around $37,000 to $40,000 PSA 10. It's the first ever card. So you remember Adam Bomb up. Nasty Nick is apparently the first one.
Oh, what is it? Was it rare?
It's the first one.
Oh, okay.
Right? I saw something else on eBay where they had Adam Bomb and Blasted Billy with the Nasty Nick one. So 4 cards, $180,000. So they still hold a little bit of value if they're graded PSA 10. They could probably go from $3 to $30,000, right? Depending on the grading. But that got us thinking back, okay? Oh, and by the way, the first series, 1985, anywhere from like $35,000 and up for the whole collection.
Remember Tattoo Lou?
Yeah. But it got us thinking based on the MLB and their new Garbage Pail Kids, which, by the way, have you seen them?
They look pretty cool. Yo, Skeens must be honored that he's one of the people they're talking about. Oh, there's artsy Ellie De La Cruz.
Ellie De La Cruz.
With his paint bucket.
You got Evan Carter. I can't even see that.
Chopped wood.
Oh, okay. You got James Woods there. You
DC
got
Dylan chilling.
Dylan Cruz, outfielder. You got 2 Nationals, which is kind of cool in the new collection. You got Holiday hitting bombs like his daddy. So some cool new cards. There he is. The Martian, Jason Dominguez. The Yankees refused to bring him up because they believe in Verdugo. They're letting him play. That's the whole deal. But they came out with all these new ones for all these young players. Like you said, Paul Skeens. These are going to be hot cards. So it got us thinking about hot cards growing up. And the first one that comes to mind for me, Rich, and again, this is generational. There should be a little bit of his girlfriend in this picture.
Little Livy Dunn in the background.
Little Olivia Dunn in there. When I was a kid, again, generational, my pocket of baseball cards was like 85, 86 to 90, 91.
Yeah.
Right? And that's when they were hot. Then they got overproduced and all that stuff. You know the deal. But Gary Vaynerchuk says they're coming back.
I think anyone that's around our age automatically thinks of those 87 tops with the wood border.
Yeah.
That wood border, like, I feel like, because that was when we all really were like, all right, everyone's into it.
The 86s were big too, and that's where I'm starting. Because what comes to mind for me is the rated rookie Jose Canseco with his negative sideburns and his wispy mustache. And that was one of the hardest cards to get. I got it in one of those screw cases. And again, depending on the rating, it can go from $25 to $750 PSA 10 gem mint card. But that rated rookie was the holy grail of cards back then. Again, generational for me. That one right there, I still got it.
I mean, yeah, that had some potential value. I want to give you 3 cards that little me, think of like 8-year-old, 10-year-old little me going to the card store.
Pocoyo?
Little me.
Pocoyo.
Little me. Pocoyo. I'm at the baseball card shop, place called Rare Coins that sold baseball cards. Mm-hmm. They kept the name, even though they really didn't sell. Who collected coins? Rare Coins. It's a baseball card shop.
Ebenezer did.
So I remember 3 cards that I stocked up on because I'm like, yo, I'm going to be rich. Because I have
Richie Rich.
I have a ton of Greg Jeffrey rated rookies.
I'm with you. And not only the future star, right?
That's the one, the future star, right?
Future star. That's the famous one, but Greg Jeffries was so popular because of his training methods, and he's swinging underwater and all the highlights and rumors about him. He's going to be the next Lenny Dykstra.
Oh, they used to say, because I'm a Mets fan, they said if you combine Lenny Dykstra and Keith Hernandez.
Yeah. He came with a lot of hype.
Jeffries.
I'm not a Mets fan.
Yeah.
But I collected cards, so I'm backing Rich up on this. Greg Jeffries, that card was so hot, I was trying to get the Score rookies.
Yeah.
Remember Score baseball cards?
Of course, yeah. I remember all of them. Fleer, Donruss, Score, everything.
Greg Jeffries was a hot card.
He had a decent career. Ended up in Philadelphia, but nothing. Nothing.
His cards go from like $3 to like 30 PSA 10.
Can't even sell one for a caramel macchiato.
Yeah.
There was a guy that I'm gonna unlock a memory for a lot of baseball fans. Mm-hmm. How many of you collected as many Todd Van Poppels as you could? He came with like a rookie hype, like, yo, the A's got an ace on their hand.
He looks like a Manning there.
Todd Van Poppel does look like a Manning. He's got a head.
He's got like a Peyton Manning cabeza.
Yeah, because his neck goes right into his head. Manning style.
He needs like an extra long hat.
But I know there's plenty of people watching and listening right now saying, oh shit, yeah, Todd Van Poppel.
Todd Van Poppel, everybody remembers the name, but your Todd Van Poppel was my Tom Gordon, Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon.
Like, I invested in so many Tom Gordon rookie cards when he was a Royal. But again, these were hot cards. When we were growing up, you could add to the list.
I got one more.
At Covino and Rich at Fox Sports Radio.
I have the number one answer on the board.
My number one answer is Canseco, dude. Everybody knows.
No, number one answer on the board.
No.
Now, luckily, because I would tell you if I did.
Okay.
I did not fall victim to this, but my buddy Phil.
Oh,
yeah, Philly's nuts.
Phil McCracken?
Yeah. My buddy Phil.
Phil Mabosek.
And think about how much a couple $100 is when you're like 12. He spent hundreds of his hard-earned, like shoveling snow, raking leaves.
You could buy a GT Performer.
Washing cars.
Buy a Mongoose with that money.
He used all his allowance money, all his, like I said.
You could buy the 3 My Pet Monsters with that money.
Landscaping money. And bought as many Brian Taylor cards as possible. There was a Yankee guy that threw over 100 miles an hour.
Number 1 draft pick. 6'3", full of potential.
Apparently, I remember the story was he got in a bar fight, hurt his hand, and was never the same. Is that the legend of Brian Taylor?
Brian Taylor was a story that never was, because he got into a fight defending his brother, I think. It was like, a family scuffle.
Almost like a Richie Valens Bob type of thing.
Torn labrum, never the same, and that was it. Grand opening, grand closing.
But I remember that close-up picture. The Stadium Club was like the hot new card at that time.
Yeah.
And that Stadium Club, like the headshot of him with it in the gold 91 draft pick. Like, that was the shit right there.
But a big name and big card to get back then. I don't know if that's the number one answer. That might be like the number one letdown of what could have been.
Did you tap out by Stadium Club? Because I'm a couple years younger than you, and I feel like that was an expensive pack of cards, but Stadium Club, that was like the premium cards.
Upper Deck was the premium.
Stadium
for
Club
me,
was like,
and Stadium Club came out. So, yeah, man, fun reminiscing. But you got to look out. Here's the fun, especially if you got kids.
Yeah.
You go buy those new Topps cards, and you pick up a few Garbage Pail Kids
Why
of
not,
these
right?
young stars. I think that's pretty cool. So it takes you back, and you could share that fun with your kids. They're like, Dad, do you collect the cards? Yeah. They might be interested in seeing your old collection for the first time. I got all mine put away.
Yeah.
No one cares. I'm waiting for someone to care.
I want to get a Polar Bear Pete Garbage Pail Kid.
They don't have one, do they?
Because he's a nerd. That's right. Listen, we'll see you guys
later.
later.
I feel like they should. I think that's cool. Maybe they will.
A great Thursday night. Enjoy your NFL kickoff, which is happening like within a half hour. So we'll see you later. Later, buddies. Arrivederci, baby.
See you in the overpromised land. Come on, hand me one. Yeah.
Let's go.